of you left a comment recently on one of my Portland leather goods videos, and you said this is what happens when the planner world and the handbag world collide. And that is exactly what this video is about. Portland Leather Goods is a handbag company primarily. That's what they're known for, that's what you think of when you think of them. But they also make planners and pencil pouches and other small goods. So I have purchased all of them, well, almost all of them, and today I'm going to show them to you, do a little comparison, so that when you are shopping for those, you can figure out which one would be best for you. I make the sacrifice so you don't have to. Stay tuned. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury living on a budget, from high-end luxury handbags and small goods to the everyday luxuries of life. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post new videos, and be sure to like the videos that you enjoy. And one of the perks of subscribing to my channel is you get to see my community post on your YouTube homepage, where I post deals, discount codes, sales, and rare finds related to these beautiful things we love. So let me show you what I have first to show you, and then I'll show it to you. Not all of these items are available on the Portland Leather Goods website, but what is available I will have linked below for you, so be sure to check that out. And I may even be able to post some pieces that aren't available there, but are available on the resale market. If I can find some, I will link those below as well for you. Of the journals from Portland Leather Goods, I have all three sizes of the Snap journal. This is the small in the color Sugar. I also have it in Boysenberry. This is the medium in the color Sage, which I will also compare to a couple of similar greens while we're here. And this is the large in the color Honey. I will give a little note here just so you're aware. I have filmed so many, I can't even tell you how many Portland Leather Good videos that I will be showing you over the span of I don't know how long, probably many months, especially since we're about to move up there and I'll be getting more and filming more. So you are going to see some things in this video that I have not revealed in unboxings yet. Don't be alarmed, just look at it, watch the video, take what you need from it, and then forget you ever saw these particular pieces so you can be surprised when they show up again someday, okay? I thought since we're comparing the planners, which are a little different sizes than I'm used to with the planners that I use, which tend to be Louis Vuitton, and I have these in all three sizes too, so I will compare those because a lot of you watching are familiar with Louis Vuitton items. Since we're doing planners, I thought, well, we should also do the pencil pouches because they have a bunch of them at Portland Leather Goods, and it would be helpful to see them side by side so you can figure out what you need and figure out capacity, and I'll show a little bit of what fits. So here's what I have. The ballpark pouch, this is in Zoolander. The sidekick pouch, this is in the small size in the color Sangria. The small size you can only get in mystery boxes or in the store. The sidekick in the regular or larger size, which you can purchase online. And by the way, you can get all three of those Snap journals online, but they're often sold out. And you can get the ballpark pouch online. The Dream pouch, which you can only get currently in mystery boxes. And the Alpine pouch. This is the sloped one that's like the Alpines, that's what that is. And it also reminds me of the Louis Vuitton Berlingot pouch. YSL has something in this shape as well that's smaller, a little key pouch thing. The Louis Vuitton Berlingot is also smaller, that's a discontinued piece. Oh, and this is in the color Violet, this is in Dream, and this is Lavender. I think we're ready to get started. Let's start with the Snap journals. Let's also go over what I don't have so you know that there are a couple more options available. Of their journals, I don't have a wrap journal because I don't want that long string of leather that's flopping around once I've unwrapped it. I also don't have the triangular artist pencil pouch for the same reason. It has a piece of leather that wraps around it, and I'm not interested in that. That's just not the life I want. So let's start with the journals. First, let's take a look at one. This is the Snap journal. This one is the small size in Sugar. Sugar is, as you can tell, a pebbled leather, which means it's a really soft, squishy leather. And you can see on the back they have the stamp that says Portland Leather Goods at the bottom. They'll have that on all of them. And when you open it up, you unsnap it, these all have the same layout inside, so I won't show you all three. There is a pocket on the front and a pocket on the back. The pocket on the back does open on both sides, but when you slip a notebook in, it's sewn in this curved way up here where the notebook edge will stop. It won't go through all the way there. When you buy one of these straight from the website, they do come with a journal, and you don't know if you're going to get a lined or a blank journal. This one is blank. You can purchase these journals from Portland Leather Goods for $5 each, and they all look just like this with that stamp on the back. It's convenient to purchase those refills online. However, for $5, you can get them cheaper, so let me give you the dimensions of these in case you wanted to look for your own. And these are the dimensions of the refills, not of the cover itself. The covers are just slightly larger, as you can see there. The measurements for the small notebook refill are 4 inches by 5.5 inches. The refill for the medium notebook is 5 inches by 7 inches. And the refill for the large notebook is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Here are all 3 sizes stacked against each other, so you can see that they each are a little bit wider but also taller. As you get bigger, they get taller more than they get wider, if that makes sense. So I was surprised by the size of this large one because I find that it's a little too tall, or definitely more tall than I was expecting, clearly because I didn't look at the measurements on the website, but I feel like it's just a little disproportionately tall. Like it could have been cut off about here and been good. Then I guess it would have been closer to the medium size. So far I have not used the large one. Let me open this just so you can see. And it does have the suede on the interior there. So these notebooks are just the outside piece of leather with these 2 pieces of leather on the inside. And here's what their lined notebooks look like in case you're interested in seeing that. Now personally, of the 3 sizes, I have found the small and the medium to be most useful for me so far because I tend to carry these around with me. Whereas the large, especially since they don't have a lot of structure in the leather, the cover flops over like this when you have the notebook in it. The large will certainly fit in some bags. For example, I have the mini crossbody tote here, and if I slip the large in there, here's how it looks. So it just hits the top of the bag, even sticks out a little bit from it. When I show you the back, you can see that a little bit better, right? If I was to turn it sideways, it acts more like a divider. It fits across the center seam, but not so much in the front and back corners because it's a little bit too long for that. The small size would be great if you're just carrying around a notebook all the time in your handbag and you just need something to take notes with. So far, the medium has been my favorite. It's the one I've actually been using. And I like the medium because there's more space in the notebook and I can still carry it around. This sage especially is very, very floppy, smushy leather, but I can still hold it like this and write in it, or hold it like this and write on the other side. So it works okay if I'm not at a desk. The large size would be easier to use if you're sitting at a desk. Now let me show you these in comparison to the Louis Vuitton notebooks and then tell you which I prefer. Here are the 2 small sizes. And these are agendas, not notebooks. So the Agenda PM with the small snap notebook. There is going to be a thickness difference because the agendas have metal rings inside. If you're not familiar with Louis Vuitton notebooks, they have pockets in the front and back, and you can see the rings there. Here's the Agenda MM. You can see the PLG notebook cover is a little bit bigger, but they're about the same width there. But this having rings is much thicker. Also, what I don't like about the Louis Vuitton Agenda MM is that these pages are very narrow. That's a complaint from a lot of people. Whereas on this medium notebook, you get a lot more width, a lot more area to write. And then comparing the 2 large sizes, you can see the Portland Leather Goods notebook is a little bit taller, but quite a bit more narrow than the Louis Vuitton GM Agenda. And certainly, again, you have those rings, so there's a huge difference in the thickness. It might be more comparable to the Louis Vuitton Desk Agenda, which does not have rings, so you don't get as much thickness, but it certainly still is more thick than the Portland Leather Goods. I would also caution you, if you are looking for Portland Leather Goods Snap Notebook or any of their notebooks, to be mindful of which leather you choose. This honey, for example, just with a little bit of handling it I've been doing in this video, it was brand new and now it has a bunch of scratches on it. Not sure if they're gonna come across here. There's one here, I think you can see that. And there's a mark there. There are other little marks all over it. Now with this leather, you can rub it, and well, is it gonna work on this one? Maybe not so much. Some other leathers, you can rub them and the scratches just come right out. It's not working as well on this honey. So this is a more delicate leather. be careful with that. But it's also a bit more stiff, well, a lot more stiff than the sage. But I was going to say the pebbled leather here, it's stiffer than that too, because this is also pretty squishy, but it is still more stiff than the sage. Now, in terms of these two small sizes, my preference would be the Louis Vuitton notebook. That's why I haven't used the small sizes of these yet. The reason for that is the layout in here. This, as you know, only holds a notebook. It does have this extra pocket here, so you could put something else in there, and I did buy a second notebook, and I slipped that in there thinking like the desk agenda from Louis Vuitton, I could use two notebooks. But then when I go to snap it, I have to pull the snap over pretty far and it will snap, and it looks like that. However, I left it like that overnight, and then I started noticing, see if I can show you up close. Can you tell how this is pulling on that leather? Not sure how visible that is, but it's pulling up on the leather here, and I think that would damage it over time. So I decided having two notebooks in there would not be the best idea. I'm not sure what else I could put in this pocket, maybe some stickers, maybe some notes, receipts, things like that, and it would certainly fit a passport. This peacock colored piece here is the Portland Leather Goods passport holder, so you can see that the small journal is a little bit bigger than that. The inside of the passport holder holds your passport over here or over here, but it also has those two card slots, which is nice, but it's just open, there's no way to close it. But with the Louis Vuitton agendas, you get the snap just like you do with the Portland Leather Goods, but when you open that, you have card slots and you have a slot here, and then on the back you have another pocket. So you could put potentially a thin notebook in there. I have an envelope with some things that I keep. My vaccination card fits in there perfectly. So when I'm traveling, I usually set this up as a notebook here with the rings, my passport in the back, vaccination card there, and then my ID and debit cards here, and then that acts as a wallet and sort of a catch-all for everything, which is a lot more versatile than this piece, and that's why I prefer it. In the medium size though, I prefer the Portland Leather Goods. With all the large sizes, my favorite is, you guys probably know this if you've been watching my channel for a while, the Louis Vuitton desk agenda. It doesn't have rings. It has a big slip pocket here. It has a few slip pockets here. It has places for cards on the back and another slip pocket here. It's a very versatile piece. I have videos on this that I can link below if you'd like more information. Well, there was a lot to say about the planners. Now let's talk pencil pouches, and we'll try to make this part a little faster. Let's start with the ballpark pouch. So I'm going to compare each of these, and then I'm going to tell you which ones are my favorite and my least favorite, because there are some I don't like. Let's start with the ballpark pouch. Let's give you a little spin of it first. So this is the widest of each of the pencil pouches, besides the Alpine, and I'll compare those in a minute. It's a bit narrow here, but then it has a thick body that way, and it's kind of almost oval shaped or rectangular with rounded corners. All of these pouches have a single zip across the middle, and they all open up pretty wide. So you have the leather on the outside, you have the raw leather on the inside, which is the suede. Of all the pencil pouches that I've seen and I've been looking at on the pre-loved market, the ballpark is the one where I see the most flaws in how it's sewn. I feel like it's the one that doesn't hold its shape the best, if that matters to you. But it would have a really good capacity because of its width. Here are the two sizes of the Sidekick pouch. Let me give you an overview of one of them. So these are triangular, and they're domed on the ends, but straight across on the middle. And there it is, and there is the bottom. So you've got a rectangular bottom, and then it comes together at a bit of a point there. And then let me give you a comparison of the two sizes. So there's the front. I think what would be most helpful is seeing them from the bottom like this. So you can tell that the bigger one is not only longer, but it's also a bit wider. The smaller size is going to be the same length, or very close to the same length, as the ballpark pouch. But you'll get more capacity with the ballpark, as you can see there. You'll be able to fit more in it. Then this is the Canoe. This is their newest design as far as I know. This also has that triangular shape when you look at the end of it, and it's long and skinny. And here's the base, so rectangular base, but it comes together at a point at the top. The difference between the Canoe and the Sidekick is more to do with how the ends are sewn. So the Canoe has these ends that go out at the top and are pointed. It's canoe shaped, as you can see, whereas the Sidekick has those rounded ends. Because of that, the Canoe is a little bit longer. Now, if you just look at the bases, they're about the same, and the Sidekick is a little wider. But since those ends are sewn differently, the canoe gives you a little bit more length. The most different and unusual one from all of them is the alpine pouch. So this is like two triangles that, I don't know, went into the matrix and got confused and put together in a weird way. So here it's flat and here it's flat, but they're flat in opposite ways. One's vertical, one's horizontal, and then you end up with this triangular shape that's a bit bulky and a bit difficult to deal with sometimes. When you unzip this, you have that interior there, but there are some advantages to this shape, so let's go over what those are. Oh, and in terms of the length of this one, it's about the same as the regular sidekick pouch. So the advantage of the alpine and the shape of this is that you can fit some things that are bulkier that won't fit in the other pouches. For example, I have a full-size pair of scissors here. Now these are not going to fit. You can see that the scissors are a little bit longer than the pouch. However, if you had a pair of scissors that were a little bit smaller, those would be able to handle the handles there and still fit, whereas you wouldn't be able to necessarily fit that in the other pouches that are more evenly sized all the way around. You would also be able to fit some bulkier items like correction tape or bulky erasers or other things you might be able to think of. Now in terms of what all these will fit, the small sidekick is the smallest of all of these pencil pouches. It's going to fit the least. So if you just need to carry a few things, this is the way to go. But even though this fits the least, it still holds a lot. And I want to show you, I've got a 6-inch ruler here and a regular sized pen. The pen fits perfectly and the 6-inch ruler fits perfectly. But if you use something longer, like a Stabilo pen, you can see that that's not going to fit. That's too long. I mean, you can get it in there, but it doesn't fit as easily. If you carry a couple of these, you'll be fine with this small pouch. If you carry a bunch of them, like this, that's when you'll want to go with one of the longer pieces, like the longer sidekick, or the canoe, or the alpine. Now the ballpark is the same size as the small sidekick, so let's see if we can get a bunch of these Stabilo markers in here. And we can, but it's a little tighter fit. And now it's harder to get them out. If you use these big wide highlighters, you can fit several of these in any of the pouches. The smallest pouch, the small sidekick, holds 4 of them where you can still zip it. You can't zip it with 5. If you don't know about these highlighters, I'm gonna link them below because they're wonderful. They come in really nice shades. It's not just those bright neon colors that you find at Office Depot. And these particular ones are also metallic. Very pretty. So my review of these pencil pouches is that the sidekicks are my personal favorite. They're just the plain old traditional pencil holders, but that's what I like. And I prefer the smaller one because I don't have a need for the extra space that the bigger one takes up. The small size fits great in bags too. The ballpark, the canoe, and the alpine are my least favorites. The ballpark I just find too bulky, and then like I said, I feel like it has the most construction issues. It doesn't hold its shape as well. The canoe, my problem with this is when I put it in a bag, because I tend to carry these around in bags, having the ends point out like that gets in the way and makes it sit wonky in the bag, and it just takes up extra height. It's a fine pencil case, but that's enough for me to make me want to go with the sidekick instead. The alpine is just weird. It certainly has its purpose if you need to carry some bulky things around, or if you just want it to sit on your desk and look pretty, it's a cool piece. But when I have it in a bag and I have it standing up between other small goods that I have in there, it's just really awkward. It doesn't sit properly with other things, so I tend not to reach for this. One last thing, I did tell you that I would show you a couple of greens in comparison to the sage, so I'll do that up close here. Here's the mint, just so you can see the difference there. It's pretty different, but the thing you really need to see is sage compared to eucalyptus. They are very, very similar, and in person they look more similar than they do on the camera. Let me turn this around so you have two flat edges together. So you can see the eucalyptus, which is the bag, has a little more green tone to it. It's a little bit deeper, whereas the sage is like it has more white mixed in. It's a little bit of a lighter color. So I just wanted you to be able to see that because if you're looking online, whoops, as I'm filming this, eucalyptus is pretty readily available in several pieces on the Portland Leather Goods website, which of course I will have linked below. Sage is something you can only get in mystery boxes or on the resale market, and they're just so very similar. Just wanted you to be aware of that, that's all. And that brings us to the end of the video. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments section below which notebook size you think you would like best and which pencil pouch you think would be best for your needs. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.